That you would hang up the phone on?
You need to tighten up the drug testing policy at ESPN Cleveland, sir.
That was on ESPN Radio Game Night. So
tighten up that one too.
Okay, so listen. Here's the thing. Conceptually, I understand what someone is saying when you say, if I believe I have Ant Edwards and I wouldn't trade him for Steph Curry because I believe Ant Edwards is so good right now and he's going to become Steph Curry, that makes sense. Evan Mobley's not close. Conceptually, he's right. He used the wrong guy. It's like saying I wouldn't trade Jaden for Lamar. Would you trade Jaden for Lamar right now?
You said what?
Would you trade Jaden Daniels for Lamar Jackson if you're the Commanders?
Don't put me in that box.
But that's what he's saying. That's what he's. But I believe Emmett's analysis of Mobley is incorrect.
But that's what he's saying. But that's not close though.
I agree.
Giannis and Evan Mobley.
It's why I said
no one ever.
Conceptually.
No, there's nothing that the Cavs had that they shouldn't trade for Giannis.
Absolutely right.
Nothing.
If that call comes
would you trade your starting five for him? I'm dead serious. If that could work, because I think I would, and I love Donovan Mitchell.
The city of Cleveland would trade the Guardians for Giannis.
Not the Browns.
Maybe the Browns too.
Dylan Gabriel for Giannis, straight up.
They may not trade Shedeur for him. They are all in for Shedeur, so I think that is probably.
Would they trade Myles Garrett for Giannis?
Hell yeah.
Would the city of Cleveland trade Myles Garrett for Giannis?
Teams. Yeah, probably.
Jimmy Haslam owns both teams.
Like, probably.
Make it happen.
Probably.
We're not sportsmanlike. We're about Progressive Insurance.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
I'm here with Thomas from Talkin Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talkin Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
When the biggest names in aerospace, financial services, and electronics needed office and manufacturing space in Huntsville, they called Samples Properties, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. When Huntsville first began to grow, so did Samples Properties. You can trust your business to Samples Properties and their deep knowledge of the commercial real estate market in Huntsville and Madison. When you're in the market for commercial real estate and you need a partner who knows how to make your plans come together, Samples Properties can guide you through all the legal, financial, and regulatory hurdles. And if you just need office space to start or grow your business, Samples Properties is the call you need to make. Go to samplesproperties.com to see the impressive list of clients that have profited from the knowledge and integrity of Samples Properties. For commercial real estate development and consultation, trust your business to Samples Properties, with offices on Madison Street in downtown Huntsville. Samplesproperties.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoon starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. There you have it. We're back. We're live. We're brand new. We're off. And we are local. We're running still. Hey, look, your temperature today in Huntsville is expected to be 85 degrees, 69 right now in the Rocket City. Okay. You can call our good friends Talkin Heating and Air. Thomas, Jerry, Jeremy, give them a call. They'll get you set up if you need some air. We, on the other hand, it is breezy right now, to say the least. Wind is picking up. But we are in, it says we're in Atlanta.
Well, we're actually Marietta.
We're not
Marietta.
really in Atlanta.
Is that what Steve says? Marietta?
We're in Cobb County, right?
Marietta. Sorry.
It's Cobb County, right?
Yes, you're in Cobb County.
Okay, we are. Okay, but anyway, we are sitting, our backs are literally to Truist Park. We are getting ready for the Braves. They have an afternoon game. So
After I cursed them last night.
We got in the car at 2:45 this morning, Central Time, made our way over here.
Out of the dark.
Yeah, we were just a bit outside the comfort zone. I woke up. I woke up at 2 o'clock this morning and thought, "What the hell am I doing?" But anyway, we made it. We're here, and it's going to be a fantastic day for baseball. We're sitting. Big thanks to our good friends here at the Yard House, here at the Battery Park or Battery Park,
right
whatever.
Outside the stadium here.
And it's beautiful. A little breezy right now, but it's nice.
Hey, I like the breeze, man. I had to walk 10 miles.
We walked 0.6 of a mile.
Like 10 anyway.
I thought you were gonna die.
I was huffing and puffing, and I couldn't blow anybody's house down.
At one point, I literally thought you were going to die when we walked up the stairs.
I was huffing and puffing, man. But we got great food, classic rock, and the world's largest selection of draft beer here at the Yard House.
Yes, we do.
In the Battery, Atlanta.
And we got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to talk Atlanta Braves baseball. Bill Shanks is going to join us in the second hour of the show, so we'll count you down to first pitch here in Atlanta. The finest 2 hours of programming in Atlanta you'll have today. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. A lot of stuff going on, though, in the world of sports. By the way, while we were driving in the middle of the night, in the middle of the dark.
We were in the middle of the night, by the way.
Whatever it was, the PGA Championship did get underway. Golf's another major for the golf for PGA. Got underway from Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. 68 degrees right now. Remember, it's rained a ton there. Ryan Fox right now, your leader. Really no big names atop the leaderboard yet. Padre Harrington is even after 3. A lot of the big names have yet to tee off from the Players Champion or from the PGA Championship. We'll keep you updated as the morning goes along if anybody kind of starts to set fire. But We talked about it yesterday on the show. We briefly mentioned it a little bit because we were talking about Mark Sears and the NBA draft. Speaking of the NBA draft combine, Nate Oates yesterday, they're playing at the Regents Pro-Am. He confirmed it, but LeBaron Philon doubled down and made it official. He is not coming back to the University of Alabama.
Yeah, and it's not a shock. I think there was a lot of people remaining hopeful and that Alabama was going to wait out the process, but LeBaron, took all the suspense out of it. May 28th is, of course, the last day, and the combine runs through Sunday, but he told Jeff Borzello yesterday, Basketball Insider, that, Alabama's coaches are aware, I'm all in, I'm staying in the draft, and some projections in the last 24 hours have him in the bottom of the first round. So he hasn't been a full participant in the combine. It makes me wonder if he's already got a promise that he's going to go in the first round, and that's the reason to go ahead and end the suspense. So, and I hope he does. That would be great for him to get a guaranteed contract. And, now if he goes, one of the projections, a few days ago had him 36. That's around where Herb Jones went. You could certainly probably get a guaranteed two-way contract. But if you get a first-round pick contract, I mean, you're talking about, 4 to 5 years guaranteed. So, and a nice signing bonus. So we'll see what happens and see what he does the rest of this week at the combine. Mark Sears has certainly helped himself. He shot the ball very, very well. One of the projections last night I heard about had him going final pick in the draft. So he's on radars. Again, what's going to hurt him is the limited athleticism and size, but skill is not an issue. He's probably going to have to start out in the G League and work his way up.
Right.
If he doesn't go the overseas route, depending on what he decides, the path he decides to take. But certainly there is one for him to do it. The best thing for him is for Jalen Brunson to keep winning playoff games, because he gets compared to Brunson a lot. And Brunson has become a superstar with the Knicks. So again, certainly Mark Sears hasn't hurt himself. Grant Nelson a couple of days ago broke the combine record for the shuttle, and we'll see how well he plays this week as he tries to get on draft boards and be selected. But those are your three guys that for Alabama are here competing. And then some very interesting info about Todd Pettiford from Auburn comes out yesterday.
Yeah,
he played really well in the 5-on-5 action. He had 23 points and 8 assists. Basically, as he said afterward, I'm just letting people know I'm here. And, one of the projections on him.
Has he played his way into a first-round pick?
I was going to say, in one of those projections, I think I said LeBaron Philon was 22. Well, 21 was Pettiford. So if he continues to play like that, he certainly is going to have a great shot to be a first-round pick. And if that's the case, I would think he would stay in the draft, and Auburn would be looking for a lead guard. And right now, that would mean unbelievably, that this just shows you how old they were, how good. And then, with the transfer portal, Auburn would have no players returning off of their best team in school history that went to the second Final Four under Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, and as far as Alabama goes, Nate Oates did say yesterday that they're at 11 players right now, that he wouldn't mind going and getting a 12th player. But if they don't get a 12th player, he's fine with the 11 that they have.
Yeah, and he did say he thinks they're going to add at least one piece in the next 2 weeks, and I would watch Keontae Jones from Cal State Northridge. We'll see what happens with that, and maybe after this week wraps up, he was committed to Eric Musselman, a.k.a. Ernest T. Bass at Southern California. He reopened his recruitment. Now, Duke Miles is another guy that I had Alabama been told to watch. Robert E. Lee of Montgomery High School native and alum. And he had already played against Bama last year at Oklahoma in the league, but he committed to Virginia, got out of that commitment, committed to Bucky McMillan and Texas A&M, got out of that, and now in the last couple of days has committed to Mark Byington and Vanderbilt. So we'll see. He seems to be off the board right now, but as we know, these, unless you sign officially, and even if you do that sometimes, it's really not worth the paper it's written on. But as of right now, the one guy that I know Alabama's interested in is Keontae Jones. And I would think they would be interested in Boogie Fland, and we played the Boogeyman song yesterday.
Yes, we did.
And there was a report out there, though I think that account is about as real as the 3/4 of Jimmy Himes' account.
That he had committed to Florida?
I told some people to be careful. I said, this is the same account that said Nate Oates was going to be the next coach at Maryland, or at least very likely could be, and the next coach of the Denver Nuggets. So believe this account, at your own risk.
Oh, I thought Nate Oates to Denver was a sure thing.
Well, and again, as I told a friend of mine in the media who retweeted it, I said this could very well happen, but I don't think it's happened yet.
Right.
So,
well, yeah.
And Auburn could get in the mix too if Jihad Pettiford decides to stay in. So Auburn needing a point guard, Alabama would like another guard potentially. Florida needs a guard. So, Boogie Fland is going to be in demand. A lot of people have him connected to Florida because his agent is the one and only Mike Miller, who is a legend at Florida. And again, like we said, with Walter Clayton Jr. moving on to the NBA, hopefully playing his way into the first round. If these people have a pulse, then we know certainly that he could see himself playing in Todd Golden's system as well. Alabama was heavily involved with Boogie coming out. But he committed to Cal at Kentucky, then followed him to Arkansas. Cal really doesn't have room for him at Arkansas. He's been aggressive in adding high school players and portal players. And then Kentucky, my God, they've spent $20 million. They've got tons of guys. I don't really think Boogie's going to want to go there. So we'll see where the Boogeyman lands.
All right. Just hopefully not in your dreams, right?
Yeah, we don't need Freddy Krueger landing in anybody's dreams. There you go.
Anyway,
or Michael Myers or any other boogeyman.
It's me, you turn the state.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Eric Musselman in the house.
Yeah, I have now pulled up. I have been curious all morning. Why can't you just pull up a dang menu when you want it?
Here we go.
Well, I've tried to pull
Brandon sent us a couple little. You ought to look at your phone. I mean, it's already connected.
It says order online. Yeah, I'm not going to order online. I just want to know the menu here for the Yard House.
It's starting to smell good.
Yes, that's why I'm really kind of curious, and I am not trying. We just had a squirrel moment. That's okay. Look, they've got oh my goodness. How about the Onion Ring Tower?
The Onion Ring Tower.
The Onion Ring Tower. Look at that. Look at that. Give me some sliders and the Onion Ring Tower.
Sliders look really good. And oh no,
the Jumbo Bavarian pretzel. Are you all in on that?
I mean, I could eat a quarter of it.
Well, we've got all kinds of stuff. Oh,
we got edamame.
They got chicken nuggets.
They got shiitake garlic noodles. And no, I didn't cuss.
That's just the appetizers.
Oh.
That's your appetizers there.
Oh, some good looking tomato soup too, Scott.
We're up at it early on a Thursday morning here.
We're making Steve hungry. He's getting mad. He's playing Florida State music. Well, that's the chop too, though. Come on, he's playing the chop.
It is.
He's a Braves fan. We know that.
All right. Wow, truffle cheeseburger.
Wow. I saw the 2 pepper jack. I like some cheese.
A truffle cheeseburger.
Nashville hot chicken sandwich, the Ryan Fowler.
How about an ahi tuna sandwich? There we go.
Korean barbecue cheesesteak.
An ahi tuna sandwich. Go for that. Go with that. Go with that.
Oh, the house cheesesteak too, Scott. The house cheesesteak looked pretty tasty.
Boy, the last time you had a cheesesteak, it burnt through your ass. You ain't eating another one.
God, we haven't talked about that in a week.
Stay away.
Download the
Stay away
app,
from that.
They must hate me because they've got hot honey chicken too. And I was like, it doesn't say extra hot though. Good Lord.
All right, it's 8:13 on a Thursday morning.
Hey.
We are live from the Battery here in Atlanta, right outside of Truist Park, ahead of the Atlanta Braves day game with the Washington Nationals. When we come back, Nick Saban, he was at the Regions Pro-Am yesterday. We're going to hear from the old coach coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's gonna fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that trick never worked.
He's burning down, loading up and trucking. We're going to do what they say can't be done.
Somebody was trying to do that after the wreck we went through.
Yeah, well, I had to. I mean,
no, not you. I'm just talking about the guy that really had the hammer down.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very quick trip because half of it was in the dark.
Yeah,
we didn't see a lot.
Hell, it did feel like coming back from Texarkana with all the Coors.
Yeah, well, it was in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we were driving in the middle of the night.
That's what we have in common with driving over here.
I mean,
it's in the middle of the night.
We didn't do is just look at somebody and go and drive off.
It was in the middle of the night. Anyway, we're live on a Thursday morning. It's 7:17. I looked at my phone and it said 8:17.
Yeah, the phone switch over.
Yeah, it's 7:17.
Yeah. Sorry, we're on Eastern time right now.
Yeah, coming up at the bottom of the hour, Chris Lee's going to join us. We will set the table fully for another full weekend of SEC baseball.
We got him in about 12 minutes.
Yep, we got him in about 12 minutes. Yesterday at the Regions Charity Pro-Am, it's really turned into an SEC coaches.
It's almost a mini spring meeting or a preview of the spring meeting.
Yeah, because, I mean, Kirby Smart was there. You had Hugh Freeze, Charles Barkley. And by the way, we could not go.
Right.
So we sent our good friend Grady the Greek.
Man.
Down there for us.
He was wearing a 97.7 credential. And
he had a credential for the event.
And he met Charles Barkley.
He met Charles Barkley yesterday.
And Charles is never going to he's never going to give Auburn $2 million a year. He's going to keep giving them money, but he's not going to give them $2 million a year to be good at sports. That's what he said.
He did. But he also said, I've given them a ton of money. I mean,
both legally and illegally. I'm just saying what he said. I'm not trying to get him in trouble.
He also said the NCAA sucks.
Well, I agree with him.
He also said that as well.
The NBA sucks too, and I think he believes that even though he covers it.
Did you see what he did yesterday, Charles Barkley's day? So he did their TNT show the night before.
Right.
He said he got back to his hotel room, and he only had like 3 hours before he had to catch his flight, his private flight, by the way.
Yeah, private plane.
So he sat in his hotel room for about 2.5 hours, didn't go to sleep, sat in the chair, then got on the plane, flew over to do it. And he said he loves Leeds. He loves the area. He loves all that. So he wouldn't miss it for the world. Then he played a round of golf, got done with everything there, did a bunch of TV, bunch of media stuff, got on the plane, flew back to Atlanta, and then did the show last night in studio.
Yeah.
I mean,
War Eagle.
It was impressive.
I mean, Charles, he's good at this media thing. He's been good at it a long time.
Well, Nick Saban is good at the media thing as well.
And he's a quick learner.
And yesterday, he was on the Paul Feinbaum show. We talked a lot about Nick Saban last week because of his visit with Donald Trump and the committee and the commission and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Here was Coach Saban talking to one Paul Feinbaum.
Well, first of all, I don't know a lot about the commission. First of all. Secondly, I'm not sure we really need a commission. I think that, a lot of people know exactly what the issues are in college football and exactly what we need to do to fix them. I think the key to the drill is getting people together so that we can move it forward. So, I'm not opposed to players making money. I don't want anybody to think that. I just think the system that we're, the way it's going right now, it's not sustainable and probably not in the best interest of the student athletes across the board or the game itself. So I think we need to protect the brand and the competitive advantages and disadvantages that are being created right now. And I think we can fix all that. But I think we know how to do it. And I think not just me, but a lot of people, we just got to get everybody together to do it.
That's Coach there talking about, commission. What commission? Don't think we need a commission, but
maybe not in name, but they do need they need a lot of people in the same room to get on the same page.
Well, and that's what he talked about. Take a listen. That's exactly what he talked about. If the internet would be fast. It was fast when I played it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make it fast. Anyway, this is what you do when you're live, right? We're going to come all the way right to here. We're going to go. Here we go.
Well, I think, first of all, the way all this started was, when President Trump spoke at, commencement at Alabama, he said, all my friends are saying college football is really messed up. Let's get together so I can figure out, or we can figure out, how to fix it. And so that's how this all got started. But, I really don't want to get into the implementation of, what I would do. I think, the first thing is everybody's got a different state law, which creates advantages and disadvantages, and everybody's trying to create advantages. So we probably need an interstate commerce type something that gets it all there. I don't think it's in the best interest of the players to necessarily be employees. And I think authentic name, image, and likeness is good for players, but I don't think pay for play is necessarily what we want. So, what is college? We all went to college to create value for our future. And, I think we want to keep some semblance of that in terms of guys becoming and developing as people and students and developing a career off the field, as well as developing the ability to play at the next level. So we got to have a system that enhances all three of those.
There you go. Coach Saban.
I mean, everything he said makes sense. I mean, he's telling the truth. He's And I think it's what everyone wants. I mean, you're going to have people take shots at him and call him an idealist and everything that are in the mainstream media. But the mainstream media is the problem. All the mainstream media does, and I don't consider myself part of that. I certainly am on a radio show and I give my opinions, but I'm talking about mainstream, especially national type media. All they do is lie. Basically, they just tell you what they believe and what they want to hear. They never tell you the truth,
right?
Especially on the other side of the Democratic side. Sorry, but they're nothing but a bunch of propagandists, and they never tell you the truth. And that's just the way it is. And they spin everything, and they want to cry a river for every little thing, and act like everything's an impossible dream, but it's not. I mean, you can get things done if the right people and
Nick Talk Radio, WCCN.
I guess the brake fired there, but I
don't know.
I felt like I was being censored. But
apparently we got moved to talk radio.
Yeah, there you go.
We were so awful. We got moved to talk radio. Way to go.
But look, I mean, I just think overall, if you get the right people in the room, and Nick Saban, for all intents and purposes, a Democrat, but he knows what needs to be done. You just need, no matter what their affiliation, you need to get the people that understand what needs to be done in collegiate athletics. And I know the president right now, he got a lot of problems. He's got a lot of things he's handling.
College football should not be one of them. Right.
But you need to delegate it to the people that can get the things accomplished. It's not going to be a quick fix in 6 months or anything like that, but you need to get the ball started rolling downhill. And Nick Saban's trying to do that with the help of President Trump.
You wonder how fast it will all happen. I mean, is this a 5-year thing? Is college football on this path of pay for play 3-4 more years? Is this another 2-year thing? I mean, because the whole pay for play stuff really has come along in less than a year, right? I mean, it's really got
in the last
up.
2 or 3. And so to me, but it is starting to get outrageous and out of control.
The outrageous part is
seeped down to the high school level. And so when a lot of that happens, action is taken. So I think it would be more of a 2-year process, maybe 3. I wouldn't say 4 or 5. And Scott, right now, everybody's watching on WCZN
You've
TV.
lost me.
They're continuing to prep and cook here. So Scott's driving himself insane. He's already looked at the entire
I gotta
menu.
find where this food smell's coming from.
So Scott right now is in food
smell
mode.
onion rings. I smell onion rings.
Yeah.
I think
he smells an onion ring tower.
It's I mean, it really, though, in the last minutes, the smell has just permeated through this area.
Yeah, he's like Forrest Gump right now, man.
I really am. I really am.
Scott is completely locked into the food.
Oh, I mean, look, you have something in that bag that you're going to try here in a little bit.
Yeah, I really do. I'm glad you mentioned that. We've been talking about peanut butter and jelly a lot, and I picked up something else to try. Peanut butter and jelly Reese Big Cup. That's the great flavor right there.
And you got a strawberry one, too.
Yeah, they had 2 flavors, so I just thought I'd try them both out.
Exactly
I don't know if you want to try them, but there you go. Strawberry.
Peanut butter and jelly Reese's Big Cups.
The big.
We
already had the M&Ms, man.
At least when you eat those, you know that there's grape jelly or strawberry jelly
in there, dude.
We ate those M&Ms.
Yeah.
We couldn't tell if it was strawberry or grape jelly in the M&Ms. Those we actually know.
Yeah, we were discussing that on the way down here.
Yeah.
So, and then we couldn't find that on the ingredient list. But
no, there was nothing in the ingredient list that specified.
I was looking for blackberry, but nobody seems to like blackberry jelly and then something like this. But I did find these 2, so probably going to try some
blackberry
of
jelly
those.
with peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
no, it doesn't.
Well, you didn't like the M&Ms either. You and Joe.
I'd love to see some of you do a little bit of research and figure it out. It'd really do my heart good.
I'm trying to find, speaking of research.
Well, his nose is researching.
Do you smell it too?
Of course.
See? I just don't know where it's coming from.
Probably from in there.
Well, they turned the music on to the ballpark.
Yeah.
The ballpark music is on right now.
And we even have a portable cover for ourselves if it does start raining.
Yeah, but the skies look good though. The sun's starting to come out.
Yeah.
All right, almost 8:30. We got to get a break in because when we come back,
remember 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30. Gosh darn, I did that like twice now. This is good rehearsal for July.
Yeah,
because in July we'll be a few miles south of here in the ATL for SEC football media days, and that's where again we say the region's pro-am has kind of become a mini SEC media days because of all the coaches there. It's more a relaxed atmosphere. You just kind of joke around with them. You talk about some things. Kirby Smart opened up about his father a little bit yesterday. And Hugh Freeze was there taking some hacks. He had Nick Saban there. He had other coaches there along the way. Nate Oates was there. So, I mean, it's a fun time. It's a good time. But in just a little less than 2 months, we'll be downtown at the College Football Hall of Fame.
Destin and at the end of this month.
Yeah, and that's the spring meetings. And there should be some interesting stuff coming out of the spring meetings. Remember, that's the whole – are they going to go, ESPN offering up $1 billion for them to play 9 games? Doesn't look like it'll be decided in the spring meetings because they haven't even got the college football playoff format and all that stuff taken care of. So right now, I think they're hitting the pause button on the 9, but ESPN is offering a crap ton of money for them to play 9.
And then if they did that, they're probably going to want 4 playoff spots. But of course, the rest.
No, they do. They already want the
so does the Big Ten.
Yeah, the
now.
Big Ten and the SEC
the
want
Sacks
4.
don't want any of that. They even though they don't deserve more than 2 because they stink. But that's not that's their own fault.
Hey, well, I mean, look. You can only go up from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
You can only go up.
Oh, that's a song. Started at the bottom, now we're here.
The Big 12 is going to come back. You're going to see a Big 12 resurgence.
Yeah. Well,
you're going to see a Pac-12 resurgence. They're going to come back.
They got 2 teams.
They have a television rights deal now.
For how much? $2? Because that's basically what it would be worth in California after taxes.
And you pay for gas.
Yeah, oh, my God.
So Pac-12 new TV deal. Okay.
Yeah.
For the 25 season, the CW, ESPN, and CBS are going to show 13 home games involving Oregon State and Washington State.
Joy to the world. It's like watching paint dry. I'd rather eat onion rings than talk to Chris Lee, who's standing by.
Well, we are. Yep. Let's get a break in. Chris Lee's going to talk some SEC baseball with us. Woo!
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to be quite warm. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, but it's also going to be on the humid end of the spectrum. I anticipate that heat indices are going to be somewhere in the low and mid 90s. Maybe an isolated shower Thursday afternoon, but it does look like the vast majority of us are going to be dry. Staying dry as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. We are going to be warm. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Hey, There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Wow. So not only did our good buddy Grady the Greek get to hang out with Charles Barkley yesterday, Tommy Tuberville, Riley Green, the singer.
Yeah.
When we send Grady to the Greek to an event, Grady the Greek
he's very well known.
Grady the Greek is very well known. He was hobnobbing yesterday.
Yeah.
He did go to school, but he was hobnobbing.
What we have to call him now is the plug. That's the new term, you know. He's the plug.
He was working it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get him on the phone.
AKA the plug, Grady the Greek.
We're gonna have to get Grady on the phone, but we have somebody on the phone right now who knows a thing or two when it comes to a thing or two about SEC baseball.
Yeah, Vandy 24/7 publisher, a longtime publisher, and one of the stalwarts of Southeastern 16. And if you want to know about SEC baseball, SEC athletics as a whole, no one covers it from a YouTube perspective. And with the fervor and with the completeness of Southeastern 16. And Chris Lee has been kind enough to join us this morning as we are live from the Yard House at the Battery in Atlanta. And I know that'll please Chris because he's a Braves fan. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
That warms my heart, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for
coming back on with us on a big weekend, Chris. Final. This is it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe we're already at the end of the regular season, man.
I know. It's simultaneously kind of sad and also like the thing that you wait for, right?
Yeah. And there's a lot at stake going into this last weekend. Now, I think we know the top three as far as the double buys, Arkansas, Texas, LSU. But the Vanderbilt Commodores very much alive. Auburn very much alive. There's a glut of teams that still have a shot to get that fourth bye, and of course finish in that top 8, Alabama included. So there should be some fierce competition on this last weekend.
Yeah, I've thought for a long time that Hoover would sort of be irrelevant when it came to the next thing, which is the NCAA tournament, right? And now I'm not so sure. Because I go through and I try to separate these teams and say, if you're the committee, how do you rank, Auburn, Vanderbilt, LSU, Arkansas, Texas, Georgia, they're all teams worthy of national seeds right now. But how do you sort them out? Because in some of them, the RPI says they should be here and the KPI says they should be here. Then you watch them play, and maybe some of the teams that didn't play as tough schedules are the teams that look more dominant. And so all that to say that I wonder if Hoover will be a sorting point for some of that for the committee because it is so packed at the top.
Well, in your eyes, then, is this, do we expect and do we assume Texas will hold on to that number one spot, be the number one overall seed when they get to Hoover? And who are the other three do you think that'll accompany them as double buys?
Well, look, assume is not a word I use for anything right now, given the way that the SEC has gone. And, you look at Texas A&M, right? Texas A&M is a monumental series win 2 weeks ago, against LSU. And you're going, this is not only looking like a team that's going to get to a regional, but this is looking like a team that, could get to Omaha again now that all the pieces are clicking. And they come home and they get swept by 0-24 Missouri. So with my context answer to your question, I don't know what's going to happen next. I think right now, and I've been really doing our regional projections and stuff, really on more like what you are right now, more than what I think is going to happen. And right now I would have Texas the number one overall seed in the NCAA tournament, but they lost 2 out of 3 at home to Florida last week. They've been invincible at home, and now they go to an Oklahoma team that's not been playing well. So I just don't know. All I can tell you is that right now, if I were picking the bracket, Texas would be the number one overall seed for a lot of the reasons that you outlined here.
No question about that. We're talking to Chris Lee, Southeastern 16, Vandy 247. Now, as we talked about, Vanderbilt just came off of a huge series win at Tennessee. The last couple of times they've gone to Knoxville have been very rough, but they win a very emotional series over the Vols. Amazingly, this Tennessee team, which was number one in the country just over a little month and a half ago or so, they right now are maybe on the host bubble after that fourth out of fifth time in conference play they lose the series at home. They're still a very, very dangerous team, very good team, but Vanderbilt took a huge step forward, getting the dramatic series win over Alabama, winning this series on the road. They right now they're definitely a host, and they put themselves in position, Chris, to get one of those double byes.
Yeah, look, that series for Vanderbilt recently has just been very lopsided. Now, Vanderbilt did win a game in Hoover last year, did get a game 3 in Nashville, but I mean, they've just been getting demolished in Knoxville and darn near won game 1 up there. It was 3-2, and if Hunter Inslee doesn't maybe take a home run away late in the game, then Vanderbilt might win that one 4-3. I don't know if it was going out or not, but it was really close. Point being, I like the way they kind of hung in there. Saturday, they won the game, and I'm not going to say commanding fashion, but it was 10-6, and I think they led most of the way. And then Sunday, to be honest, I thought Tennessee came out looking to pick a fight or to rile them up or something like that. And that environment, it feeds on itself up there. And they were up against a lot. They were up against a desperate Tennessee team. They were up against a lot of things there. And to see them hang on and win that game the way they did told me a lot about the between the ears mentality. It feels like Tim Corbin might have a team that's a little bit mentally tougher than some of the ones that have been on his roster the last few years. And so I think Vanderbilt's got a big series with Kentucky this weekend. They win 2 out of 3. I don't know how they're anything other than a top 8 seed for the national tournament. I think they could even win 1 and potentially get there. So anxious to see how that series with Kentucky goes this weekend, because Kentucky can do a lot of the same things that they can do and bunt and run and defend. And yeah, it's been wild watching Vanderbilt make a late season run. And I never would have had going to Knoxville, winning 2 out of 3 and nearly sweeping is a thing that I thought would happen.
The Auburn Tigers, they have come alive. And when I say come alive, those bats have just woken up. It started with 24 runs against South Carolina in the opener of that series last weekend. They score 11. They got to get a walk-off, but they score 11. Their midweek game this past week, they scored 19, in a win over Jack State.
Mm-hmm.
Butch Thompson has this Auburn team. It looks like, at least at the plate, they're peaking in the right direction. Do you think they have it on the mound to help them go a long ways?
I think they're starting to get there. I mean, they've got Sam Dutton, who's been that Friday night ace that you really love to have, especially in postseason play. I know he slipped a little bit recently, but the numbers overall have still been really good, and he's been durable. I think Christian Chatterton, their freshman, has really come on and pitched well. I think that what he and Cade Fisher did in Knoxville a couple of weeks ago really stood out. And I like their older, I guess I'll call them swing guys that you can see pitch out of relief for 2 or 3 innings at a time, guys that you can see start at different times. That's Carson Myers, that's Cam Tilley, that's Dylan Watts, that's Parker Carlson. I mean, some of those guys don't all fit that mold, but they've got John Armstrong and just guys that have pitched a lot of ball in the SEC and pitched quality baseball at that. They got Ryan Hetzler. They've got a bunch of other guys kind of lying in wait. And I think the way that Dutton has been so durable, that saves you a couple innings, because what I'm always doing, guys, is counting how do you get 27 outs in a weekend. And when you get to the end of that, does it drop off a cliff, or are your arms competitive? All those arms for Auburn may not be elite, but I think they've got enough competitive arms, especially when Dutton can get you through 6 or 7. So I think that Butch Thompson was a pitching coach before he was a head coach. I think he's done a tremendous job. I think if it hadn't been for the job that Jim Schlossnagle had done, Butch Thompson would probably be coach of the year. And then look, he might be yet. By the way, another coach in your state that I think has got an underrated argument for that too. But yeah, I think he's done a terrific job. And I think Auburn, the more I watched them, they're going from nice little story of a team that's made a run or had a nice regular season to one that when I look at them and how it's made, I could see this team being one of the last, 4 standing in Omaha and maybe better. Who knows?
I know I'll give you credit. Last week you called it. You liked Alabama's chances in that series against Georgia. Now early it looked good, 3-1. Then the groove caved in. They got just mantled 19-3, but they really bounced back to get 9-3, and then of course a 7-inning rain shortened game 5-4 to win the series. Now they're taking on a Florida team. We haven't even talked about the Gators yet, and yet O'Sullivan's team's probably the hottest in the league. They started 1-11 the first 4 weekends. The last 5, they're 12-3, and they'll take on Alabama in Gainesville. They're probably going to be a 2, even though I don't think they're completely out of the host conversation. And then Alabama, some think they need 1 in Gainesville to host. Some I think they might need 2. What is your thoughts on this series and then both the Gators and the Tide?
I know nobody else is going to say this because people look at Tennessee and Arkansas and maybe A&M and Georgia and some of the bigger brands. I think this is the most interesting series of the weekend. I think you've got Florida that has really started to peak. They started 1-10 in the league or whatever it was, and like as you said, not only going to be a regional team, but a team that like with a sweep this weekend would host, which is incredible. You've got an Alabama team that man, guys, I keep trying to discount what they're doing just because, and I don't mean that in a way that's personal, and I mean in a way that like when I'm going through and saying, oh, the committee's going to pick this and the committee's going to pick that, and these guys are going to host. And you look at Alabama, and the more that you look at what Alabama's done, really the only thing that you have to sink your teeth in as a criticism is that they have not, maybe won some real top-end series compared to some other teams in the beauty pageant category of the bracket. But, the other thing that they've done is they've been super consistent, and I don't think they've been swept all year. Let me double check this. Yeah, I don't think they've been swept in a series all year over the weekend, which is amazing. That's pretty hard to do. So they've got that, number one. I just like the way their roster is constructed. And the point I was making about the RPI and everything, I think when you look in those single games where they managed to salvage a game in a series rather than get swept, those add up over time. They get overlooked. I mean, and their metrics right now, guys, if you just went on the numbers, Alabama is not only a host, it's got a great conversation as a national seed. So I think that's why this series this weekend is really intriguing, because you got 2 teams that have got great metrics, and the winner is probably going to take something home in terms of national significance, especially if that is Alabama. And more under the hood, I just really like the way the roster is constructed. I think their lineup is full of a lot of really good hitters. I think now that Justin LeBron is hitting for power again, they are especially dangerous. I think that when you've got guys like Zane Adams and Riley Quick who can go deep into games and are really effective, that is a great start to the weekend. They've got Braylon Myers. They got Carson Osmer out of the pen. Those guys have been terrific this year. Matthew Heiberger's pitched better for them lately. I'm just thinking that this is the team, like that their biggest piece is Justin LeBron. He's starting to hit more like he did earlier in the year. And you look at the pitching, I think they've got more pieces than I might have thought they had a month ago. And I think Alabama's a really dangerous team that's got a chance to be playing some baseball in Tuscaloosa one weekend. And probably not, but it's not off the table, maybe 2.
An intriguing series for me is this Texas A&M Georgia series.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Texas A&M last weekend. I mean, we've said it even with you that somebody was going to lose to Missouri.
Yeah, we
Just didn't think it was going to be Texas A&M. Didn't think it'd get swept
at home.
Yeah, at home. Now they've got Georgia this weekend. Georgia's still trying to cling to a top 4 seed. Texas A&M, the preseason number 1, could not be any worse of a year for them right now. This is an interesting one to me.
I do not know how to explain it, right? I mean, I go back and look at their last few weekends, and like this all started in Knoxville when they got beat 10-0. And then they came back and won the last 2 games, kind of in blowout fashion. You know, a couple weekends later, they come home, or they go on the road again. They win at Arkansas, which nobody's been doing. And I know they got swept at Texas, but they're all one-run games. And then they come home and they take 2 out of 3 from a really hot LSU team. And you're like, okay, they're putting themselves exactly in position to where they need to be. And then I don't even know how to explain that. You know, and the worst thing was they gave up, 6 runs in the night to Missouri. And you think
To
that's
lose
their
on
wake-up
Friday,
call?
yeah.
And then they get just blown out in game 3, which Missouri hasn't done to anybody outside the SWAC hardly. I mean, it is the most mind-bending thing I've ever seen in SEC baseball. I almost wonder, you know, are they better off playing on the road, which is where they are this weekend? They do have a lineup that when it's on, you know, is constructed to, you know, potentially hit long balls with the best of them between Hensler and Kent and Laviolette and Sorrell and all those guys. But Georgia, boy, they're a right-handed hitting monster at home. And I think the problem is A&M's rotation is entirely lefties. And most of Georgia's lineup is righties. And with the way the ball gets out the left, despite the dimensions, this feels like a pretty bad matchup for A&M. And I think they're going to need to win the tournament in Hoover to get in.
Yeah, and if that happens, we saw Greg Goff go one and done several years ago for Alabama after he came over from Louisiana Tech. Michael Early was promoted after Schlossnagel's bitter departure. If they go from number 1 preseason and to missing the NCAA tournament, and from what I understand, I don't think that's happened in 35-plus years, is Michael Early a one and done?
Well, look, there's been a lot of noise about the next coach in Texas A&M being Tony Vitello. And that's been out there for a week or 2.
Wow.
And when those things start to get out,
you
start to really take note.
Wow.
What a shockwave that would be. That would be even bigger than Schlossnagel, in my opinion.
That would bring a little edge to the Texas A&M rivalry.
Yeah, can you imagine? And that's one where, like, I never would have thought that was possible. And somebody that's got some connections tipped me off on that one middle of last weekend. And to be honest, I didn't really pay any attention. You know, and Tony Vitello's in a spot where he's unhappy with some things about his NIL and his ballpark situation. And I think Tennessee's unhappy administratively with some of the antics that everybody's seen. And both parties don't seem to be really, you know, completely enthralled with each other. That's one thing to say that. And then it's another thing to be the AD, who, you know, on his watch, an extremely popular coach who had done things the program ever dreamed of before, let walk. And so I'm just, you know, A&M can write enormous checks to get rid of people and to hire people. You saw that, you know, play out how many times the last decade. And I don't know where that's going to end. I'll just tell you, somebody mentioned that to me, and I just kind of dismissed it. And then I heard a lot more about it, and then I started digging in. It's like, yeah, there's some stuff going on there. And my guess is there's too much at stake for Tennessee for that to end that way. But just keep an eye on that one, because there's been chatter that I think Vitello's agent, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be, but I think Jimmy Sexton is his agent. And you know how those things can go when he's involved?
Right.
Just keep an eye on that.
And Jimmy is a ball grad, but we'll never see. Great intel right there. Some breaking news in a way from Chris Lee of Southeastern 16, also Vandy 247 publisher. But Chris, we appreciate it. Enjoy the last home weekend, or excuse me, conference weekend of SEC baseball. And certainly we're going to enjoy Hoover next week. We will carry the entire SEC tournament, baseball tournament in its entirety here in 97.7 The Zone. But we always enjoy catching up with you. Thank you for the visit.
Yeah, always fun. Hope to see some of you guys in Hoover.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Chris Lee, kind enough to join us and kind enough to tell us a little something along the way. All right, let's get a break in. When we come.
We're going to take it. We're going to take it.
That's what a producer sounds
Combining
like.
breaks.
There we go. Look at that.
Combining them.
Come on. Hey. No red flags.
Red flag, red flag, red flag. Now they're going to think I'm waving for a home run. They're going to think I'm drunk.
Did you ever
Sun's
find
out,
out
man.
what you were smelling, Scott?
No, because
No,
there's been like 500 different smells.
I know, Scott, man. He looked like just one of those.
I was going to say
Yeah, the
meerkat.
coon dogs. Yeah.
He had his head up, like, popping around like a
Or a
meerkat.
blue tick hound, whatever you want to call it, man.
I couldn't put my finger on it because I don't know if it was coming from the yard house, if it was coming from the steakhouse right
Yeah.
across, literally like 100 yards from us over here, or the Garden and Gun Club. I don't know where it was coming from.
I thought we were remaking the Fox and the Hound there for a second.
Cowboy up.
Yeah.
Top of the hour. We're live from the Battery. The sun is starting to come out.
It is. Feels good out here at the Battery. A little wind, too.
Oh, my goodness. This is great.
1 hour to go.
Yeah, 2 hours of the show from Atlanta. 2 hours of the morning spent here in Atlanta.
From the Yacht House.
Having a good time. We're back for one more hour. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Coming up on Saturday, May 17th, it's the Colts Mayday Bass Tournament out of Joe Wheeler State Park to benefit the Clements High School Booster Club. The Colts Booster Association exists to make sure that the athletes at Clements High have what they need to perform at their best. And this is a great, fun way to support the program. Blast-off is at Safe Flight with the weigh-in at 2. An entry fee is just $100 per boat. The guaranteed payoff for first place is $1,500 with a side pot for big fish as well. Learn more at coltsboosterassociation.org.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation. But did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Alabama baseball today on the road to the Florida Gators. The Gators are 23-3 in their last 26 meetings of the Crimson Tide. Game 1 of the weekend series. Florida, $2.20 favorite today in Gainesville, Alabama, plus 170 on the money line. Auburn at Ole Miss, both teams minus 115 on the money line. South Alabama, a $2 dog at ULM, plus 154. Troy, another 14 home dog against Southern Miss. The Golden Eagles, another 45 road favorite at Jacksonville State, plus 240 on the road at Western Kentucky, minus 330. Atlanta Braves today, $2.25 home favorite against the National. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2 of Talking Ball underway. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center helping us kick off hour number 2, 256-881-5151. You can experience the SportsMed difference. No guarantee they'll get chocolate out of your hand. That thing looks like it's melted.
Well, it probably did in the car.
We had the air on.
I know.
That chocolate looks like it just sat.
We're out here in the sun.
The sun just came out.
I know. By the way, it does have jelly in it, by the way, everybody. Strawberry.
That's all you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you on that one.
WZZ TV, YouTube, go there right now.
That's all you on that one. The sun's at our back, so hopefully you should be able to still see us. We're probably going to look like we've been at the beach, but
which we haven't.
Anyway, 256-576-4977.
Don't want to make a mess, eh?
Well, just feel free to get up and do whatever you got to do.
I didn't think the wind was going to catch it there. So,
all the chocolate's melted. Anyway, I'm kind of still going over the menu here at the Yard House.
Yeah, that's why I ate something, because you're making me hungry.
Not that we are going to get it, but man, that Korean ribeye looks fantastic.
There goes Steve.
Yeah. Man, these burgers. Now, I've not eaten at this one. Like I said, I've eaten at the one, I think, in Indianapolis. And the Kurabuda pork burger.
The Kurabuda, huh?
I am pretty sure I have had that because it has blueberry ketchup on it.
Oh, well, see,
that's how I remember.
And I was wanting some blackberry.
Yeah, you could have some if you got the pork burger, you could have blueberry ketchup on your pork burger. It's fantastic, by the way.
Nice. About as good as the strawberry butter at Metro.
Oh, my goodness. Pancakes. Woo, baby. Woo. Jonathan cooking something up good there back in.
But that's usually also, they have that with the chicken and waffles.
Yeah. Well, here, this is an amazing venue. We were here last year for a baseball game, a night game. You and I were. But we went in along the third base side. We didn't walk around the ballpark. We didn't spend time here. This morning, we had to walk from our parking lot to here.
Mm-hmm.
You damn near died.
Well, I was huffing and puffing all the way home.
But we did get to see the entire ballpark.
Yeah.
and it's special.
Very beautiful
It's
outside.
very nice. This is my first time, and I assume your first time here at the Battery, right?
Oh, in the Battery, yeah.
Yeah.
The first time taking in some of the restaurants at the Battery. Certainly walked around the complex before and walked around inside the ballpark, been inside the clubhouse store. But it's a beautiful setup here in Marietta, or is it Marietta? Sorry,
Marietta.
Steve. Marietta.
Is that the real pronunciation of it?
If you hang around there long enough, yes.
Kind of like Huntsville.
Exactly. You got to say it like you're eating Jello.
Or like instead of, it's Louisville, not Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, Louisville, Huntsville.
Yeah.
Gunnersville.
Yeah.
Marietta.
Yeah.
Marietta.
256-576-4977. You can join us on the phone lines this morning. Coming at the bottom of the hour, we will talk more Braves baseball. We have not had him on. We have not had on Bill Shanks in a little bit.
Since the playoff run of last year.
Yeah, so he'll
and we're
join
already
us.
43 games in. We usually have Bill on to preview the Braves season and then catch up with him at certain points, but this will be our first contact point with Bill. I know that the 0-7 start was very, very difficult to stomach.
Well, they're not over 500 yet because they dropped the ball yesterday.
They got up to 500 going into yesterday. We're ahead 4-1 and had some bullpen struggles last night, even though they got another good start from Bryce Elder, who has, for the most part, the pitching has been good enough. The offense has been inconsistent. Drake Baldwin has been kind of a revelation as a rookie. He's, I think, in his last 10 games, 11 for 21. He's done a good job behind the plate as well. He's really kind of pushing for even more at bats. We will see. But Sean Murphy, since he came off the injured list early in the season, has done a nice job too. They just need, and Austin Riley's having a nice year. They need more consistency up and down the lineup, and they may get their most talented player back very soon. I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but Ronald Acuna, he homered, in the rookie ball in his first game, and now they have optioned him to Gwinnett. He's been in Atlanta, but he's going to be we don't know how long he'll be down in Gwinnett, I guess, until he feels they feel he's comfortable and ready to roll. But hopefully sometime this month we'll see Ronald Acuna back at the top of the Braves lineup and maybe give them an even bigger spark as they try to stay in contention here in this National League East after such a disheartening start. But a lot of that had to do with the schedule as well, as they started against the Padres and then the hated Dodgers, two of the biggest payrolls in baseball.
All right, today they'll take on the Nationals again to close out the series. First pitch set for a little after 11. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I believe we'll have that for you this afternoon. So you can tune in. Yay! Tell them what they've won. An all-expense-paid visit from Talon Heating and Air. What?
Are we going to have our own Plinko board in the radio stations?
I wanted to buy one at Costco, but they're not big enough.
Oh, okay.
I think they're too small. A.J. Smith Shawver.
Yeah, we'll
gets
take
the
the
start
bump today.
for the Atlanta
Braves.
Well.
2-2, under 3 ERA. Nice strikeout innings pitched. He's starting to come into his own. That may be a bonus with the injury to Spencer Strider.
Trevor Williams counters for the Nationals,
And
who, by the
Ronaldo
way,
Lopez.
come in 18-26. Braves come in 21-22 on the season. We have a message wanting to know basically how long before the Royals bring up Jack Caglione, yeah.
The masher from the Gators. Probably not long. They're an organization that likes to build from within. Cags was a guy that I think everyone knew. Two-way player at Florida, could throw 98, but I mean, just unbelievable light tower power and ability as a hitter. He was always going to be a guy that didn't need much seasoning in the minor leagues to come up and make an impact.
All right, we have a new Moron of the Year candidate.
Oh, boy, what happened this time?
It's another political figure, somebody we've never heard of.
Okay.
Pennsylvania Congressman Brendan Boyle.
B squared.
Okay, so the fight is on for the college football playoffs, right?
Right.
the SEC, the Big Ten, they're basically throwing their weight around saying we want a guaranteed 4 spots in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't sit well with Mr. Brendan Boyle.
Okay.
Brendan Boyle has fired a shot across the bow at the SEC and the Big Ten, saying, and I quote, the next time the Big Ten and the SEC wants to meet with me about NIL, they need to be prepared to first explain to me how they justify trying to rig the college football playoffs.
How is it rigged? I mean, Ohio State won it, but they were the 8th seed last year. Was that rigged?
He added one more word, a hashtag at the end of his message that said greed.
It's called the rest of the conferences suck, and it's not the Big Ten and the SEC's fault that they can't, negotiate better TV deals, that they don't put more money into athletics. How is that the SEC and the Big Ten's fault? I mean, I don't really think it is. And that's just the bottom line. I mean, the ACC, they have really good baseball. They could have really good football if they would commit to it. They don't. And they've always been a basketball league. The Big 12, kind of the same deal. And then we all know what happened to the Pac-12. It disintegrated under liberal leadership. I mean, good Lord. I mean, they're trying to put together a TV deal with Washington State and Oregon State, for crying out loud.
Well, the ACC right now is in the middle of their spring meetings.
Right.
And one athletic director from there went on the record and said no one likes it, in reference to the fact that the SEC and the Big Ten want 4 automatic qualifiers.
And I understand that. But, it's because their league isn't good enough. I mean, now if somebody wanted the ACC to have 4 automatic qualifiers and then and the Big 12, and that'd be your 16 teams, then I think everybody would be happy. But then you would, and see, in my opinion, in some ways it should come to that, where the group of 5 ends up creating their own playoff. You kind of expand the FCS, and then and then some programs may have to move down to the Division II level, which I don't think is a bad thing, and could help Division II football.
Dave Doran, NC State head coach, believes the ACC should get 3 automatic qualifiers.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't say 4 to be equal, but sounds like he would be satisfied.
At a minimum. He says 3 at a minimum.
Well, at a minimum, SMU shouldn't have been in the playoff last year because they got shellacked. And Clemson, they matched up against South Carolina, and they choked, and they scrimmaged Georgia. They weren't very good. Okay, so everybody knows with the eye test that they weren't good. Everybody knows Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Alabama were all better than SMU.
Right.
That was the biggest crock of crap that ever happened. They never should have got in. I don't care who they played, because they played no damn body. I mean, and everybody got all caught up because, oh my God, they almost beat Clemson. Well, Georgia didn't almost beat Clemson. Georgia took a club to them. You understand? And that's what a beatdown is.
Right.
And
right.
I can't help it that the ACC can't compete. That's their fault. Commit to the sport and try to win at the highest level. But heck, right now, Josh Pate, who I respect as much as anyone in the industry, QT right there for you, Josh.
Yeah. By the way, Brandon says that's almost as big as a 2-liter.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't know about that now. I mean, it's pretty.
It holds a lot of beverage in there.
It does.
That's a lot. You put a 16-ounce in there, and then you put more in there.
Well, I filled it to the top, and then I had part of a 16-ouncer left.
Yeah.
And I poured it in on the way, and almost got frostbite on my hand. But, it's good. And it's not a 2-liter, though, Brandon.
Jim Phillips commented on this whole topic and said that out of respect for his colleagues, and then when he says colleagues, I am pretty sure he's referring to Greg Sankey and the commissioner of the Big Ten, who I forget at this point. It's not Kevin Warren anymore, but I know
with the
that.
Chicago Sacks.
I forget his name.
The Chicago Bears.
Yeah, he goes, I want to hold off on commenting about AQs and specific models out of the respect for his colleagues. So I imagine he's referring to the SEC and Big Ten and saying, I'm not going to comment because I don't want to offend them as well. So there you go. It's getting messy. It's getting messy.
Tony Petitti.
Yeah,
Big
that's
Ten
it.
commissioner who replaced Kevin
I'm not
Warren.
playing football, Warren. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's getting messy between it, and you could see it coming. You could see it coming when the SEC and the Big Ten held their own little meetings together and saying we want 4 and this is what we want. Greg Sankey's not been shy about saying we want 4. The Big Ten's not shy about saying they want the automatic berths. You could tell this is going to get messy. Feelings are going to get hurt, and it's getting there.
Well, I mean, feelings have already been hurt. A lot of them didn't like the 12-team playoff. Why the hell do you think they want to expand it already? I think the SEC was satisfied with 12 until
the SEC was satisfied with 4.
Well, yeah, they were because they dominated that, but they were satisfied with 12 too until SMU got into the playoffs somehow. and then Boise State ends up a top 4 seed. What the hell is going on in this bizarro world?
Oh, what is going on is that we are at the Yard House at the Battery. Food is smelling fantastic. I have now hit that level.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, crap, we've been up since 2:45. I'm starting to feel like it's lunchtime. I'm beyond breakfast time. Yeah. It's lunchtime now.
Right. It is.
I'm going to need some food.
Mm-hmm.
I need food.
You don't need any peanut butter jelly.
No, I'm looking at that peanut butter jelly thing right now, and it's still melted.
And well, of course. I mean, it was in a hot ass car, man.
9:15 on a Thursday morning. The PGA. Let's take a look at it. PGA Championship ongoing. Let's take a look at it. Ryan Fox, your current leader at 3 under. Luke Donald at 2 under. Patrick Fishburne at 2 under. Those are your top really 3 right now. They're about ready to make the turn. Almost the leaders are at the 9-hole mark and getting close there. So that's what's going on. Again, your Michael Kim. He's 1 under. I'm trying to see if there's anybody that is worth a darn out on the course right now. Not seeing any big names yet. Phil Mickelson, he is 1 over through 4 holes. Scotty Scheffler has teed off. Scheffler is 1 over after 2, so a tough start. Ricky Fowler is 2 over after 5. So there is some big names. Patrick Cantlay, he is 3 over after 3. So some big names on the course. Ricky Fowler probably, and Scotty Scheffler probably has the best odds. He's plus 650 to win the PGA Championship. Remember this time last year is when Scotty Scheffler got arrested for trying to go through the barricades. Remember that?
Yep.
We were all talking about that. All right, let's get a break in. We're going to try to track down some food. I am really getting hungry. It's Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The sound of the organ. The crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall. And the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Sports Talk 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The
Doesn't
Zone.
anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
Uh-oh, Tokyo Drift. Here we go, some Tokyo Drift.
Oh, yes, baby. But you know that had what's his name in it
From Gadsden.
from Speak. He was from Speak.
Now we're getting wet, by the way.
I smell water. I can smell it.
Yeah, it's the fountain.
Lucas Black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From
From
Gadsden.
Speak.
Lucas
Yeah, he
Black.
went to Speak High
Gadsden
School, skipped his prom. No, I think he went to prom instead of going to the premiere of Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah. The movie, yeah. He was in Sling Blade, obviously, and Sweet Home Alabama, and then Tokyo Drift, and obviously the football movie.
Oh, yeah. Friday Night Lights.
Friday
brother.
Night Lights. He was
the
in
quarterback.
that. Yep.
QB1.
Yep. He was.
Yep.
So Wenchel. So again, we are live this morning right outside Truist Park.
Okay.
Sun is shining on our backs. It's starting to feel nice. It's feeling warm. We're being here inside we're right on the patio of the Yard House, where they have the world's largest selection of draft beer.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a fantastic morning. The fountains are on right beside us now. I mean, this place is starting to get a little bit busy. The Braves are about 2.5 hours, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Yeah, a little over 2.5 hours away from first pitch. Again, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We'll have it for you. We will be inside enjoying the festivities. But
Yes,
the Atlanta
we will.
Braves, look, I'll just say this when it comes to college athletics right now. universities, prominent universities, your Power 5 universities, they are looking for individuals that can come aboard these universities and act as general managers, like baseball teams, like NBA teams, NFL teams. They're looking for executives, so to speak, that can come in and run their athletic programs because of the state that we are in right now. And you look at it all over the country, and the Atlanta Braves appear to be losing one of their executives to heading down to the back, I should say, to the college ranks.
Yeah, Maryland is expected in the coming days to hire Atlanta Braves executive Jim Smith as the school's next athletic director. He's had a myriad of experience, and you mentioned his what he did on the college level. He's worked in Major League Baseball with the Braves. He's also worked in the NFL, the MLS, and for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So he has a very interesting resume and a varied one that could serve him well as the next athletic director of the Maryland Terrapins. So it looks like Jim Smith will be there.
It's all about getting money, spending money,
Mm-hmm.
and distributing it. Yeah.
And keeping your coaches happy.
And that's what professional organizations are doing.
And
right
they're
now.
organizations now.
They are. I think they are.
Even more so than athletic departments.
Yeah, I was going to say, instead of being athletic departments, I think universities now are university organizations. Alabama is an organization. Auburn is an organization. You are trying to bring in money. Because in order to sustain your payrolls, you have to have money. You got to bring in money. And that's what these professional guys do. They come in and they know how to balance and maintain and establish organizations.
Yeah, they really do. And that's what you have to do. I think Greg Burns done a great job of that. John Cohen's doing a nice job since coming over from Mississippi State at Auburn. And you have to know how to, finesse your boosters, finesse the money people, keep money raised. But then Greg Byrne also understands, and so does, we had Nick Saban leading off the show, that this is not sustainable. There's going to be a lot of change. There's been a lot of change in the last 3 to 5 years in collegiate athletics, but there's even more coming. And they're going to have to, balance the budgets. That they certainly don't want to lose sports and the opportunities that some young people have to, further their educations on what we call non-revenue sports. But it's an interesting time in college athletics, no doubt about it. And you're going to see more and more ADs hired with these kind of backgrounds, not former coaches per se, but it's a businessman, because that's the way these athletic departments are going to need to be run. It looks like Jim Smith will take over the Maryland Terrapins in short order.
So since we're calling these athletic programs in college, organizations now, just strictly in the SEC, you have teams like the Dodgers that they're just going to write a blank check for anybody and everybody. I mean, they're there. And then you got teams like the Tampa Bay Rays, teams like the Miami Marlins, where their payrolls are barely enough to survive. Obviously, that is where we're headed in college athletics. The rich, there's going to be the rich, and there's going to be the poor in college athletics. Within the SEC, how does that power structure look?
Well, I mean, I think everyone knows that Texas and Texas A&M have the deepest pockets. Why would you think? Well, that was very interesting what Chris Lee had to say at the end of our segment talking SEC baseball about Tony Vitello, who's the highest paid coach in college baseball. He makes $3 million per year, and yet there's still a chance that Texas A&M could write a bigger check and finally oust him from the land of the Vols. Do I think that's going to happen? I would say I would agree with Chris. Chris did preface it by saying, I don't think Tennessee and Danny White can afford that to happen. I don't think it will, and I doubt it does. But it's very interesting. But as far as the pockets, is Texas and Texas A&M.
They're the rich?
Yeah, I mean, this is Texas' first full year in the SEC. A&M's been in the league since 12. Now, A&M has certainly not dominated this league in any sport, and Texas hasn't yet. No, if you ask them, they have, but they certainly have not. but they think they can in the future, certainly. But I think LSU certainly has deep pockets. They're trying to get themselves aligned to do some major damage.
Is Missouri like the Miami Marlins?
Not the Miami Marlins. They actually have a very aggressive and good NIL offer.
Right.
And you heard Nick Saban talk about each state being different, but they have a very aggressive one. Now, they struggle in other sports. I don't think they can do it across the board. And I think Alabama can do it across the board to a degree. Now, they can't go as far as a Texas or a Texas A&M, probably even an LSU, but they can compete. But you have to be smart with your money. In other words, it's the old Coach Saban quote from this year on College Game Day: "You better sign the right bleeping guys, or you're going to be bleep out of luck."
Where does Auburn fall into this?
I don't think they're below Alabama, but they still are they can compete.
They're in that middle of the pack.
Yeah, I mean they can definitely compete in each and every sport should they choose to, and I think they have aggressive enough boosters and they have the internal support. They certainly have given Butch Thompson amazing facilities and a very, very competitive salary, over $1.4 million. And he's done a great job at Auburn, getting into the College World Series twice. Got a great chance to do it again this year. I mean, he's done remarkable things. Auburn, went through a 15-year period, and really longer than that when Hal Baird retired after the year 2000. I believe he was the coach from 83 to 2000. They really had trouble maintaining consistency.
Right.
And Alabama's done the same thing since Jim Wells retired in 2009. But I do think both of them can compete, no question about it. And I do think they're in the top half of the league as far as being able to do that. But all these athletic departments, even Texas and Texas A&M, eventually will be hurting when you have to invest that kind of money, and then and you're having to just continue to go to the well each and every year. The well is, I know the endowments of Texas A&M, and places like that, but even Vanderbilt has chosen really not to fully invest in everything. But it's not a bottomless pit, and there needs to be some guardrails.
All right, we got to get a break in because Bill Shanks is on the other end. We are outside Truist Park, getting ready for today's afternoon game. He'll talk to us next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to be quite warm. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, but it's also going to be on the humid end of the spectrum. I anticipate that heat indices are going to be somewhere in the low and mid 90s. Maybe an isolated shower Thursday afternoon, but it does look like the vast majority of us are going to be dry. Staying dry as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. We are going to be warm. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back in Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We are live right outside Truist Park. The Atlanta Braves getting ready to take on the Washington Nationals. Big thanks to our friends at the Yard House, taking very, and I mean very good care of us on a Thursday morning ahead of today's afternoon game. Beautiful weather right now here outside Truist Park as we get ready for a little Braves afternoon baseball. Scott Tyson, Trudy Armand, welcome in. The sun is shining. The Braves again have a chance for the second time this season to find that 500 mark.
Yeah, after a very slow start for this organization, it's one of the best in baseball. They were 0-7, but now they are 21-22. They are just past the quarter mark of the regular season. And our next guest, there's no one more well-connected when it comes to talking the Atlanta Braves. And you can hear him each and every day on the Bill Shank Show starting at 3 o'clock Eastern time. He's on the superstations.com, and he's taking some time out to join us this morning and talk some Atlanta Braves as they're wrapping up this series with the Washington Nationals. And I do want to apologize to him. I jinxed it last night. I really thought the Braves were in position to sweep this series and win that game last night. Bullpen issues led to a 5-4 tough loss, but they're trying to take the series today. And A.J. Smith-Shawver, who's been really good for Atlanta, is going to be on the bump, and we're going to talk to Bill Shanks right now. Bill, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott as we are here live at one of your favorite places, the Yard House, and you're home away from home here at Truist Park. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Good morning. How are y'all?
We're doing well.
We're fantastic. We're here outside of Truist Park, ready to watch some afternoon day baseball. I mean, it does not get much better than this.
That's awesome. Hopefully it'll be a good day. They're not very good on getaway days, so I hope they'll be good today.
Well, maybe I can help turn the mojo since being in the park today. But Bill, it was a very discouraging start, but a lot of it had to do with injuries and coming out of spring training, and also the schedule wasn't kind to Atlanta. They had to take on San Diego and the Dodgers on the road. I don't think anyone anticipated the 0-7 start, but it's been an uphill battle. But the Braves are slowly digging their way out right now.
Well, they are, and, for them to get back to the 500 mark was a big deal. Only 4 other teams out of the 38 who had started at least 0-7 had gotten back to the 500 mark, so it was a big deal. And I hate that they did lose last night, but I think they'll get back over or to the 500 mark hopefully today and maybe over it this weekend. So, yeah, to get back to even is a huge deal. It's a reset opportunity, and because that was probably one of the worst weeks in Braves history. It was awful those first 7 days. You lose 7 games. You have your left fielder caught for PEDs. Your number 2 starting pitcher goes down with a shoulder injury. The executives at the Braves decided to announce in the middle of a 7-game losing streak to start the season that they purchased the office complex right across it's like, hell, get us a reliever. Forget about the office complex. But it was a rough week, and they've recovered from it.
Yes, they have. And yet we haven't seen the best offense from this cloak horse. They're the guy that can ignite them hopefully will be back soon. And Ronald Acuna, a very, I think encouraging rehab start with the home run down there in rookie ball. Now he will be fast track to Gwinnett. He can be the best player in baseball when he's right. What should we expect from Acuna if he comes back up to this ball club in the next couple of weeks, Bill?
Well, I hope he's the 2023 version and not the 2022 version, because when he came back from his first ACL surgery in 2022, he was not that good. He was somewhat ordinary. But obviously, after the next year, he came back with a full force and was the MVP of the league in an unbelievable season that we'll probably never see anything like that again. I don't think we will. It was ridiculous unless Otani does it. But it was a tremendous season. So we get something in between of those two. I hope so. I hope he can be a force. I hope he can be someone that can be an igniter for this offense and get everybody else and lift everybody else up a little bit and help Olsen and his crappy batting average, and definitely help Ozzie, who's just had a horrible first quarter of the season.
Good to see him bounce back the other night, get a couple of knocks in that last win. He was on an 0 for 28. And then you're right, Matt Olson's been good for the Braves in his time in Atlanta, but they need him to get hot right now. Maybe I can reverse the mojo. I've got my Matt Olson jersey on. I think he's a heck of a player. He's been good with the Braves, but they need him to get on one of those hot streaks where he's been able to carry this ball club in the past.
No question, Drew. You're right. They really do. He's important, and he's good. We've seen it. We've seen him be good, but this batting average is awful. 219. The OBP is not bad because he'll take a walk, but we need this guy to be that force. We need Ozuna and Riley and Olsen and Acuna to just be threats in the lineup, and every time, not just every other time, but we need them to just get to another level. I'm not going to expect 2023 offensive standards, but man, this has not been good the first quarter of the season. It's been a struggle for them so many times, and it's getting runners in from second with nobody, or third with nobody out, or even with one out and having a runner at third. It's the little small things of just get a fly ball, but they strike out instead. So they've got to be better here in this next quarter of the season before the All-Star break.
And then you throw in the pitching on top of that, a couple games that you get great starting pitching, and then all of a sudden, then again, the bullpen has woes, or you got late inning or the starts. It just seems like nothing can get just on track smoothly.
Well, no, they haven't had that run yet, right? They haven't had that. Everything's clicking at the same time. Brian Snicker said, I think the day before yesterday, our best baseball is still ahead of us. We still haven't had that complete in sync run with every part of the game. The bullpen, I think overall has been okay. Raisel Iglesias obviously has struggled, mainly in non-save situations, which is really weird. And they gave him a day off last night, and I'm sure we'll see him today, but they're trying to get him on track. And he was so good last year. My gosh, he was about as perfect as a closer. And to see him struggle this year, it's been surprising, but he's really partly because of those non-save situations. Because I hate a closer coming into a non-save situation, to be honest with you, but they sometimes have to do it, especially with Jimenez not being there. But got good work from Dave Phil Hernandez, and I think Dylan Lee has been outstanding. De Los Santos didn't do very well last night, but I think he's done well overall for them. So they may get Kimbrel back here in a couple of weeks, possibly. We'll see what happens when Strider comes back, if they move Grant Holmes to the bullpen and how that kind of restructures things. So there's still some changes to come in that bullpen.
Yeah, and it's been tough. Jimenez has been out with an injury, and Lopez was really good for the Braves too, but he went down early, Strider. So there's been a lot of pitching injuries. Now, in your mind, pitching-wise, is the guy we're going to see on the bump today, A.J. Smith-Shawver, has he been a bright spot to you? Have you seen some progress? What have you seen out of him that encourages you, Bill?
Oh, yeah, I love him. I think he's been outstanding. I think A.J., for me, A.J.'s gotten over that hump. And I think he's here to stay. I really do. I mean, since he's come back from AAA, he's had a 1.42 ERA, and he's just really, really pitched well compared to the first three starts, where he wasn't awful. He wasn't great, but they sit him down for two starts, and he came back, and he's been like, hey, I'm here to stay. Don't even think about sitting me down. And I don't think they are. I think they do feel, he's had 32 32 starts in AAA now, including the 2 this year. I don't want more than 32 starts for a pitching prospect on my organization. I want him to graduate and get up there. So I think AJ is showing that he is ready. I hope he can have another great game today to further cement himself in that rotation.
You mentioned Craig Kimbrell, and obviously we're excited about that, being that, he's from the area. Do you get a sense on how much longer he will stay in the minors?
Well, I think they're wanting to see a little bit more consistency with the velocity on his fastball, which of course he's been known for. I think it's gotten to 95, and they're kind of treating this like Craig's spring training, like he's working up to be able to get to the big league. So I think we'll see him. I don't know when, but I think it's coming, and we just have to kind of see how it all shakes out. But there's some of those guys in the bullpen are doing okay, and Blewett's doing okay. He's doing pretty well. So we'll have to see. But I think he's slowly making his case to get back on that roster.
He is. I mean, I know we all love Travis d'Arnaud. He meant a lot to the Braves. Helped bring a World Series to Atlanta. He was such a great compliment to Sean Murphy and a great leader and a clubhouse guy. But I'm going to tell you what, Drake Baldwin looks special, Bill. He's been on fire the last 10 games. He's got some special tools, and I think we understand now why the Braves didn't bring him back. But this kid looks like he's the real deal.
Well, this is part of the reason why they didn't bring Travis d'Arnaud back, and the other part was $8 million. But they thought that Drake Baldwin might be close to being ready. They didn't know it was going to be on opening day. They didn't obviously know they were going to need him on opening day with the injury to Murphy in spring training in early March. But Drake's been great, and they've got a great situation here. They've got 2 catchers who have performed very well and who are really helping this offense right now. Both of them are doing okay. I mean, obviously the average is better for Baldwin, but the power's been there for Murphy, and that's a good thing to see. He's a strong kid, and I want for Sean Murphy to hit home runs, to be honest with you, because I think if someone like that can't hit home runs, we got a problem. But because he's a strong guy, he's just a big kid, and 30-year-old, whatever he is. And I think we need to see him provide some punch in that lineup. But Baldwin's been great. He's I think one of the best rookies in the National League, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it. But it's going to be a shared position, and I kind of feel sorry for Murphy because I think he may have thought after d'Arnaud left, well, I've got a chance to really be the primary catcher here and have a backup, a regular situation, if you will, with a starter and a backup, and now, because of what Drake's done, he's forced the issue to make it a shared position.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, he really has. And in your mind, Bill, we're talking to Bill Shanks, the Bill Shanks Show, and the Superstations.com. What is going to be the key for the Braves to get over this hump, get over 500, and stay in contention in this division after the slow start?
Well, I think it's going to be the offense because I really like the pitching. And look, I don't know if Bryce Elder's going to keep this up. He's got a 3.10 ERA in his last 5 games. But you got to give him credit, and I've about dog cussed him every way I can. But he has gotten back on track, which is a great thing for this team. A great thing for this team. And I like the pitching. I really do. Overall, I think that it's in a good spot when Strider comes back. But that offense has got to be more consistent. They're too good. It would be different if I didn't think they had the talent. But they've got a talent, and they have just got to be more consistent with their offense, and I'm hoping that will come. But I think that's the key. If they get good pitching, which is always the key for me overall, but if they can continue to get the good pitching, because that team ERA, their starters ERA, the bullpen ERA keeps on going down. But if they can get some consistent offense, this team is going to be better as we move along here.
Well, and the thing is, too, you look at the standings. I know the Mets have played okay baseball, but they haven't been lights out baseball. If the Braves can just, we've said it, if they can just hover around this 500 mark, maybe get a game or two, then as the summer goes along, you start to make that upward swing. I mean, it's still there in the NL East.
Well, it is, and we've got to remember not that we can take every lesson from 2021, but the Atlanta Braves didn't get over the 500 mark until August 6th.
That's right.
There we go.
So, that I think, again, you don't want to rely on that fact all the time, but it does tell you that it's a long season and things can happen. And I've always, and I feel silly doing this, but almost romanticized the season as 6 individual chapters, 6 months, 6 chapters. And one chapter is not going to be necessarily like the other. And the Rays have shown that by popping out of an 0-7 stretch and getting back to the 500 mark. So, they've had seasons where they've been, 21-8 in June or something like that. And this team's capable of that. They just have to be consistent. And if it clicks, if they could get, I want a winning streak from this team. I saw where, Detroit had a long winning streak, and it's like, okay, where's the Braves winning streak? Where's the 7 or 8 game winning streak where they just have a hell of a week? I think they need that to kind of click it into gear.
Now we've got about, 37 more games, but does Jurickson Profar, can he come back from this suspension and be a factor?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see when he is eligible to return, what happens, because Verdugo, obviously, and Eli White. I'm going to add Eli White in there. I mean, if those two are in a platoon, because I would imagine when Acuna gets back, White will be more in a platoon with Verdugo. If they're doing the job, I don't know if Jurickson Profar has handed his job out. I wouldn't hand him nothing, to be honest with you. I mean, I think now if they've got an offensive issue, then you got to play him, right? So you got to give him a shot. You got to see what he can do. But if they're doing the job in left field, whether it's Verdugo or White or both of them combined, or it doesn't matter, then I think he's going to sit. But it's going to be interesting to see for sure. And because let me tell you, that was a big deal. That was a major, major deal. And if you want to get pissed at anybody about this season or the slow start, to me, it's him. That was awful.
Bill, you certainly are awesome, and we appreciate you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. We're going to try to pull them through for you today at Truist Park, but thank you for joining us, and we hope to catch up with you soon, sir.
Man, they better win today, or y'all are going to not be allowed on that property ever again. I know people, so don't make them lose this game.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Bill. Bill Shank's kind enough to send us. Let's get to our final break here. Tomorrow's headlines wraps us up next.
My God.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Keeps on slipping into the future.
So we were back. Sorry for the delay. It was the Drew DeArmond fan club. And I'm not joking about that. We were about ready to come back from break.
Yeah.
And Drew has a fan, and the lady wanted a picture with the one and only Drew DeArmond. So
Becky Smith,
you can't
such
deny,
a great lady, man.
You can't deny the fans what they want.
Well, she works here now.
But still, though, she specifically came over. She waited during the Bill Shanks interview.
Check out the
just to
shaved
check
ice
you
here in
out,
Atlanta.
just to say hi to you.
Mm-hmm.
So we could not let the fans down.
No.
You had to have a picture with them, so you did.
And we still got back in time. So we've had one hell of a show.
Yeah,
we appreciate Chris Lee. We appreciate Bill
the
Shanks. And our resourceful producer Steve Moulton.
Who, by the way, Tokyo, you came up in great conversation this morning on the way because we said that we missed you because we were driving the curves and the turns, and we did not feel the same without you. So just letting you know.
That.
We were seriously.
We even did a U-turn because we weren't sure if we were going into the abyss.
Yeah, it felt like we were driving into the abyss.
Yeah, a little bit.
So Steve, every time we have come this way, and I learned from you that you go through Mentone, and you come out of Scottsboro, you climb up and you go through Mentone.
Yeah.
The GPS somehow took me through Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, we did.
You got to go to Turkey Mountain Road, Turkey Mountain Highway.
Turkey Mountain Road. Is that where Wild Turkey's family lives, Steve?
Wow.
We ended up going through Rome and had to take some back roads.
Yeah. We took quite a few back roads.
We were, but you know what?
But it was dark and it wasn't crowded.
I'll say this: when we got on 75 was pretty busy, and we cut off a lot of the 75. We actually got here. We would have been here in plenty of time. It was actually quick, but it was the fact that
anything to avoid Chattanooga, I'm for.
Yeah, we actually did to University of Tennessee at Chattanooga.
Yeah, we avoided all that. We did very well. But it's been a fun morning. It's been a fast morning, and we're done. So now we just get to enjoy the sun, enjoy the day, and whatever else we want to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good. We're back.
Tom met Becky too. She's a very nice
you got
lady.
your picture made with Becky.
Yep.
We're not doing this tomorrow, so don't.
We're not
It's a
doing
one-day
it. Trip.
Yeah,
man.
one day. We'll be at University Kia on Saturday though, from 12 to 2. So.
And Arthur will sell at least 5 cars.
Well, Arthur knows we're coming.
Yes.
I've talked to him, so he knows we're coming. He got inducted into some big thing at Alabama A&M last week. So
Former football player.
We got to
on the
ask
hill.
him about that.
Nice.
All right, we're out of here.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your